It's not, I wouldn't say it's normal to see dead animals on the coast. I can think of one instance actually where a common seal that had sadly died and was washed up on the shore. When we do find dead wildlife, we always report it. There's an organisation that comes and they can actually take the carcass away and they can analyse it. They do a necropsy and they can analyse and see what actually led to the cause of death. So it is always worth reporting them. My name's Paul Edwards. I'm the seasonal shorebird warden for Gibraltar Point National Nature Reserve. My job here is to manage the shorebird sanctuary. We've got to think about high tides coming. Some of the really high tides can wash the nests away. So we've got to plan ahead and think about what we're going to do to intervene, to obviously protect as many nests as possible and to promote the breeding success of red and amber-listed shorebirds.
Yeah, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know if it's all one family or two, I don't know. You might be further out. No chicks. Oh yeah, there's a chick just down here. My name is Josh Shaw. I study wildlife conservation at NTU. I think my favourite animal would have to be the bullfinch because it's one of the UK's most colourful birds. Yeah, rainy day is probably one of the best days to see birds because that's when all the worms start to come to the surface and all the invertebrates will come out on the bark of the trees, so all the birds come out too. It's always nice to hear them singing on a rainy day. I think it'd be good to correctly identify wildlife because then for surveys, when we're doing habitat surveys and wildlife surveys, we can monitor the populations, especially birds, so we can see whether they're declining or increasing across the UK. It's that little croaky voice. Initially, I joined Conservation Society for the practical experience in conservation because it'll help me get a job after uni, but also to travel across the UK and spot wildlife.
Nice clean.
Yeah, so I'm the Vice President for the Conservation Society, so that involves just helping all of the committee run and plan the events that we do. So we do lots of practical conservation events around the area and wildlife watching too.
It's so fun how easily it clears.
My name is Sina Jezri. I'm first year student in ecology and conservation. So I used to do stuff without any depth of knowledge on why I'm doing it. But now, the more I go into it, the more I understand the perspective of human impact in nature. So it just made me more serious about my goal and being honestly useful for my planet. So the reason that I joined Conservation Society is I felt like this is really in line with what I'm going to do in future. It helped me to find my passion. Brackenhurst is a campus that most courses are related to environment, and most students are like-minded students and are passionate about wildlife, plants, botany and stuff.
Advanced. So normally it's really, really small. I can take this off if you want. So my name is Tia and I'm an animal technician here at Nottingham Trent University's Brackenhurst Animal Unit. And my role is to look after the animals we have here and to help teach students how to look after them too.
It's huge.
So this is Kermit. He's a very interesting character. So bullfrogs in the wild. He's got a really powerful bite, really powerful back legs, and him versus pretty much anything, he would probably win. Obviously not in captivity, but in the wild, this is a really predatory species. So when I first started working here, I'd never had any experience with students before. So it was really interesting about all of the different teaching styles and all of the requirements that students need. And I also got to work with species that I'd never had before. We have quite a wide variety of animals, so then students can learn about their different requirements. So from domestic species like cats and dogs, all the way up to exotics like reptiles, amphibs and invertebrates.
Right.
So you can see the spurs here.
Oh.
So that's actually remnants of like hind legs, like a long time ago. So this is an old world species of snake. The new world species don't have these spurs. So on a daily basis, we would look after all of the animals, make sure they're fed, make sure they've got fresh water. Especially in this room, they have more requirements like spraying and checking temperatures twice a day. We also then would do health checks with the animals, potentially some practicals that are going on throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, we'd make sure the animals have all of the extra feed they would get and make sure they're settled down for the night.
There's some sort of vertebrae there as well.
Bring one back.
Yeah, they look quite dense. I think they're more terrestrial, aren't they? Than marine. Yeah, it's quite far away from where they usually are. And the fin whale, about 2 months ago,
I'm not sure.
it was taken back out to sea by the coast again, by the tides. Yeah, so it's further down the coast now. Yeah, so yeah, we're always friendly. We're always engaging. We try and educate people just to kind of so that they can understand, why an area might be closed off seasonally. The majority of people are absolutely fantastic that visit the reserve, but you do get a minority. We have to explain, well, sorry, but you don't. We're trying to protect, rare species here. So this is the reason why this area is closed off for this season. Yeah, it'd be good as an education.
As an educational tool.
You're going to sell it on the back.
The way of science. Or anything, no.
I don't feel like you've killed it either. And we try and divert that into a more positive way. So if people really want to be on the reserve, we'll say, well, how about volunteering? How about coming to our education events? So we always try and bring people along with us rather than make them feel that, they can't be part of things.
So the biggest challenge between humans and wildlife conservation currently is farming, agriculture and constructions. So the more humans' population grow, we need more food to provide and more housing. So this is going to destroy more habitats from wildlife and plants. So what we can do is to demonstrate a plan to make that constructing and agriculture more environmental friendly, to coexist together, and maybe in future we don't have to make hard decisions from the consequences.
So the biggest challenge for me is constantly making sure that animal welfare is to a high standard. I always want to do more for the animals we have here. I feel personally responsible for them and I build connections with them. So I'm constantly worried about their welfare and their health, and I make sure that everything is exactly as they need it. And I've also moved up here away from home, so I hardly get to see my family. And this is a 365-day job as well, not just in term time. So you'll be working here during the holidays, and so you won't get to see your family as much. But I think it's worth it.
So as a general public, we can do all sorts of stuff to conserve biodiversity and wildlife. One of the biggest impact that we can put is that we can make our gardens more suitable area for all sorts of wildlife.
Even just little things like planting wildlife friendly native flowers.
Or even cutting the grass a little bit higher than usual.
In your garden or on your balcony, wherever you can.
It's going to make big impact in wildlife conservation, because currently we have 5% of habitats in UK are people's garden, which public people used to cut it at the end, which destroys all the biodiversity.
We should be conscious of what we're doing to the environment.
I think living sustainably, reducing our carbon footprint.
Obviously, we use up so much of the Earth's natural resources and we don't give a lot back, and we're constantly invading natural habitat, whether it's contributing to in situ habitats or ex situ. And native wildlife as well. We've got to make sure that we're looking after them at the same time as looking after us.
Finding out at least a little bit about the reserve before they go, so that they can understand what the regulation. There's quite a few rules really. Dogs on leads, dogs in certain areas, not leaving rubbish, not lighting fires, and just not taking anything. I think they just say leave footprints, don't they, and take only photographs.
And just generally respecting wildlife as well, and get outdoors and enjoy it really.
Being honestly useful for my planet.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
So,